Session 1 of the Minecraft experiment, and tensions are already reaching a breaking point. President 682, who asked to be referred as simply the Prophet, has been the subject of heated rumors this cycle. Overheard by anonymous sources, his end goal, a casino being constructed under his administration, are bringing questions to his real motives for leadership. And while 682 has since announced a major political move, relocating Capitol Hill itself, the real chaos was only just beginning. Participant 358 broke the silence earlier today, accusing Capitol Hill of losing access to their mint. According to 358, they were stealing emeralds from the class screen and using them as illegal currency, but the access to this glitch is long gone. In the words of 358, what is capitalism without currency? A question that no villager seems prepared to answer. But as the Emerald Crisis unfolds, the tensions escalate. Participant 814 has been officially branded a global terrorist after multiple alleged assassination attempts on high-ranking Capitol Hill officials. Sources claim 814 was last seen spawning randomly across the spawn chunks. They have not been given a fair trial and are currently kill on sight for all nations. Their whereabouts are unknown. Meanwhile, geopolitical lines are being redrawn. The once unified Berrytown, not to be confused with Berrywood, will fracture into Old Berrytown and New Berrytown after its leaders chose to join Capitol Hill. Analysts warn this could trigger the Berry Split Wars, with Capitol Hill being right in the center of things. And in an unrelated, yet equally alarming development, the server healers have issued an emergency alert. Dried kelp causes poison. Dried kelp causes poison. Citizens are urged to dispose of all dried kelp immediately and avoid all contact. Remains unclear why the admins chose to punish us like this. As Capitol Hill moves, currencies collapse, and berries divide a nation, the question remains: who will control the server's future? And more importantly, will the kelp crisis claim more lives? This is the Civil Free Press, reporting on your Minecraft world, and the story is far from over. Awesome, that makes sense. How did you guys find it being so far away from civilization?
09 was the first one to get there, so...
Yeah. I can explain if you want.
Yeah.
So, I started at the spawn as everyone, and I very quickly went to Capital. I mean, it was first called the Capital.
Mm-hmm.
The name Capitol Hill was given later on, after I left.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I befriended the vice president, 785.
Mm-hmm.
84?
And
I don't know.
85, it was 785, I remember. But before he became vice president, and we immediately saw that Capitol Hill wasn't a good place to live. It was too near the spawn and too chaotic. So we said, yeah, we'll leave to the east.
So Trial 1 spawned in, sailed north to find a mushroom island, established a nation, some people moved there.
Mm-hmm. And that was Mycelia.
Correct.
Awesome. So, as I mentioned before, there were some issues with what eventually became the North Marinas. I'd heard that there was conflict of some sort in regards to immigration. Was immigration a concern that you had at the very start when you were founding this nation?
Yeah, we didn't want too many people. We didn't want to be a second promised land.
Mm-hmm, that's fair. Alright, you did eventually end up having issues with immigration, I think.
Yeah, we did.
Some would even say that it caused the fall of Mycelia.
Maybe, you can say that.
Alrighty, so let's jump straight in. We got a bunch of interviews to get through. Let's start with, who are you? What did you do during the trial?
Yeah, so I'm 811, one of the first founders of Berrywood, Commune Berrywood. I just dug a hole in the side of a hill because nighttime was coming, and then player 521 joined me, and then it kind of just, players kept coming to Berrywood. But it was kind of chaotic because we kind of just settled there because, really planned out or anything. We're just trying to survive.
There's a lot to talk about there with Berrywood, especially since you're one of the founders, so you have a lot of information about it. not much was known since
Mhm.
the collapse kind of came very rapidly. Um, so yeah, let's start there. What was the initial setup like?
Well, I think it collapsed just as quickly as it formed because it was just really scrappy. We were plunged into the session. I
Mhm,
tried to get some wood. I got a bunch of berries that I saw right outside of spawn, and
mhm.
then before you know it, it was too quick. The sun was just going down already, so I started digging into a cliff and making tools. I just didn't want to die the first night.
Let's talk about your pre-Justocracy history. What was
Oh,
going on? What were you doing? What was your plan coming into this?
well, my plan really wasn't to be the jester. My plan was to go to a mushroom biome and just do stuff there or play a different character. But I'll be honest, I really didn't get the vibe that anyone wanted me to do anything else. Like, people really wanted the jester.
Yeah, that is true. I feel like I
And
saw
so,
you in the first few sessions making jokes and cracking jokes and running around and getting yourself killed already.
oh yeah, I was really had a hot start there. My husband, he was doing his classic thing. We got
Mhm,
married last trial, and he was
mhm,
taking over Capitol Hill. But
mhm,
as we all know what happened at Capitol Hill, it eventually fell, and so I just started wandering the outer reaches of the map,
mhm,
eventually finding the Mycelia biome. Yeah, I
mhm.
really didn't do much of thing except meet Gester, that fucking Gester,
Uh,
an inferior Jester.
okay, all right. Toxic, but all right. I thought that I thought the Gesser looked up to you.
He killed me more times than most people.
Well, everybody did that, I think.
No, he killed me like 10 times, and he would constantly tell people to kill me. Evil
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I mean, you could say that he knew you best because evil version of you.
Yes, exactly. He was also the lead, second in command of my nation, but he was never there.
I see.
What an
So
evil
let's
bastard.
let's jump back a minute. What happened in between you running around cracking jokes, being all silly, to founding the Justocracy?
Okay. Well, not much, honestly. I just sailing. Really, it was just me cracking jokes, and then I realized I ran out of jokes, and so I just started exploring the map to talk to new people.
What's your story? Where did you start off with? Tell us a little bit about what you did and where you were.
I mean, I think it was kind of just like we started off kind of in between trial 0 and trial 1. There was kind of
Mhm,
like a playtesting phase,
mhm,
and it was kind of just like it was spawn versus the rest, and pretty much everyone who stayed at spawn tried to make a civilization, and everyone else tried to attack the spawn civilization.
mhm,
And like as fun as that was, it was also I kind of realized pretty quickly that like if we were to do that in the trials in trial 1 and like stay near spawn and stuff like that, we would get killed pretty quick, or like people would try to grieve pretty quickly because it's like if you spawn back where where spawn town is, so it's like you
mhm,
just to run back and start playing again. And so I found a group of people who wanted to like who had similar goals, who wanted to like kind of get away from spawn as quickly as possible,
mhm.
and that group was called the Loft, but we
Oh.
changed it. Yeah, we changed it after a while. It was originally called the Loft because 209 was a big member, but
Mhm.
we changed it to Skylands afterwards once we got like settled into our newest location.
Yeah, I was actually a member of the original Loft before this trial, the one in that playtest. So I was looking for the Loft in game. I did not realize that they were the same as the Skylands.
I mean, it was pretty similar, I think. I'm not exactly sure. Like, I don't think I was a part of the Loft when during this playtest, but I was definitely during the
Hmm.
trial one.
All right, so let's. I have quite a few questions about this. Um, when did you join this group? Because I know they were a very small group, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I found them like the first night or first or second night. I kind of found them as a pretty small group,
Hmm.
and like they had like I was kind of walking around the spawn area, and like people already had like the kind of pre-established like friends and kind of like allies stuff like that. So they kind of already had like the starts of like I guess the capital city and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to be in like a big group just because of, like one of what I said before, and two because like my voice is kind of recognizable. I didn't want to be
Hmm.
like I mean
Hmm.
yeah, I didn't want to like have that kind of happen, so I wanted to just kind of go out, and so I just went around and spawn, and then I found the Loft people, and then I just
Mhm.
joined them because I thought it would be funny.
Yeah, nice. So, how many people were you guys in that group?
I think we had like a core of like 7 or 8. I think
Okay.
we had like some people come and go every once in a while, but like we had a core group of like us who stayed throughout the entirety of the trial.
Session 2 is passed, and all eyes are on the remote island of Mycelia. Declaring the start of an aid force to deliver food once they are stable, Mycelia presents itself as a beacon of generosity. But critics ask, is Mycelia's living conditions fair? With no mobs and infinite food, some say that it's Mycelia's responsibility to share, not their donations. At least Mycelia is peaceful, right? Wrong. While they tickle their mushrooms, the jester has turned to bloodshed, seizing the northern island and, according to whispers, harboring a terrorist. Despite the rumors, Mycelia has joined forces with Marina, who themselves have expanded to include northern Marina. This strategic alliance has not gone unnoticed, and tensions only escalated when, in the early hours of the session, player 461 was branded a terrorist after killing 521. When confronted, as a citizen of Mycelia, 461 claimed ignorance, insisting they were both running from a zombie. The question, is this the start of Mycelia's downfall, or is 461 telling the truth? While these nations were busy forging alliances and expanding borders, Capitol Hill has fallen. And oh, what's this? It's being burnt to a crisp by 461 themselves. Take that as you will. Sources say their president went MIA after Session 1's relocation plans, a disruption that not only destabilized their own civilization, but also Berrytown, who had planned to move with them. Both fell into collapse. Rumors persist of a new Capitol Hill hidden deep underground, but here at Civil News Network we call that what it is, hearsay. And just when you thought things couldn't get worse, Berrywood, a neighboring nation, has also crumbled. Overrun by mobs breaking through their walls, floors, and ceilings, their berry-picking economy failed, their strategy shattered. A rogue agent even destroyed a bed, calling it a prank that went wrong. But death after death pushed them into a bloody war against the Skylands. In a twist, though, the Skylands heard of the attack and fled before the fighting even began, allowing Berrywood to claim their lands uncontested. But without leadership, analysts warned Berrywood's hunger for expansion could grow unchecked. Will they be satisfied with the Skylands, or will their eyes wander to new neighbors? And if so, is anyone safe? Rumors say of another utopia, Dead Horse, but our reporters have yet to find this land. From mushroom utopias to burning capitals, from berry farms to barren wastelands, one truth remains. In this server, peace is just a prelude to the next war.
And then yeah, that's when other players started joining in. But since it wasn't really planned out, it was kind of in a forest. It was a dark place. It wasn't really planned from the beginning. So mobs eventually broke in. I died, and one of the first times I died, I spawned right outside of Dead Horse. And when I went there, I was like, damn, these guys are like light years ahead. I think that was like session 2 or 3. They had torches everywhere. I went back to Dead Horse. I was like, guys, we gotta be more like Dead Horse. But
Yes.
but it collapsed, and people went to the sky base. I didn't really want to be on a sky base, so I was.
So jumping back a little bit to session 1. When you had first started, I know you guys got quite a few members pretty quickly. You were close to spawn. I've been noting that a lot. Basically, I don't think any of the civilizations that started close to spawn at the start of the game survived. Do you think that had anything to do with your specific situation? With your specific situation?
I think there were signs that we needed to move. I think Berrywood shouldn't have been a civilization. I think it should have been something that was temporary, because when we were struggling with food, the berries weren't growing quickly enough. Player 521, he went out, he kept hunting, he kept bringing back meat. That was the only way we were able to level up. And it wasn't a good location. We were wedged right between a river and a forest. I think places like Dead Horse, players who made the conscious decision to leave spawn and find a better location, like Dead Horse had a mountain to its west, I believe, and it was right wedged up next to a river. It was a plains biome, so you can see threats coming from far away. I think it's really important that you spend that first few sessions, hunting and gathering and finding an ideal location. But yeah, I understand why
Mhm.
the commune formed, and I think it was a lot different than Capitol Hill, which was kind of idea first. The idea
Yeah.
was we got to do capitalism,
Mhm.
whereas we were just frantically just trying to survive and seeing what worked. And
So what was the relation, if any, to Berrytown? Is this just a coincidence that the two civs chose similar names?
yeah, I didn't even realize how close it was until later. But yeah, we made a road eventually. It was just a coincidence. I think berries in general were the MVP of the entire trial, because even civilizations that weren't named after berries, Dead Horse had a multi-level berry farm, Capitol Hill had a berry farm, everybody had a berry farm. There was Fort Redberry, it was used to defend against mobs and stuff. So I'm not surprised there were other berry civilizations, and especially just as close, because they're in the biome for it.
For sure. Then let's again, back in that time, there was a lot going on between you guys and Capitol Hill. Do you know what caused that? Why that happened?
I think I wasn't in Trial Zero, so the information I got was from the videos, but I was very skeptical of griefing. I didn't know that real griefing, it would take a while for them to develop. But right from the start, I was like, I don't want to deal with griefers. And I heard a rumor that Capitol Hill was sort of looking for a fight, and I know they're kind of LARPing a little bit, so I thought they were kind of a threat, so we kind of just, killed anyone who came from Capitol Hill just to be safe.
See.
Especially after they were kind of agitating a little bit, but
I see.
yeah.
So then let's jump back to what happened during the collapse. From what I understand, I was actually a reporter there pretty much at the moment when the collapse occurred. From what I recall the collapse, at least. I believe what happened was that mobs came in from the underground. Is this correct? Or just from the ceilings as well?
They came from the ceilings, they came from below. Yeah, we didn't really have a good defense strategy. It was kind of chaotic.
Yeah, it was my first death as a reporter in a civilization. So it was. I think a skeleton just dropped on top of me and murdered me in the middle.
Safe. Yeah,
yes.
I died that first time, and then I went to Dead Horse and I saw how utopian it was. I came back. I tried to tell people we need to copy them, but it was kind of chaotic. And then I died a second time, and when I returned, everybody was gone. So I knew I should probably head over to Dead Horse.
Then I found the mushroom biome, and I was like, yo, this place is awesome. And then I just took over one of their islands.
I heard that you had killed somebody, and people said the Jester guy's gone mad in between those events.
When did I kill I don't remember that.
I feel like I could be misremembering the timeline of events, but I believe that that's what got the Justocracy under heat. Is that the news was like, has the Jester gone mad? They were caught killing, I think it was somebody from Dead Horse.
No, you're thinking. Oh, no, I see what you're confused about. The timeline is a little messed up there. The Justocracy was formed session 2. It was officially accepted by mycelium session 3. In session 4, I believe, I killed Dead Horse's Dead Horse.
I feel like you killed a player. Like, am I wrong? You did not? Okay.
I believe you're wrong.
All right, I could be wrong. If anybody in chat knows what I'm talking about.
Horse, and they didn't like that.
Yes, that was. So let's talk about it. Why? What happened? What started that sort of beef that was going on?
Well, wait, beef is for cows. What do you call horse meat?
Correct.
Awesome. So, as I mentioned before, there were some issues with what eventually became the North Marinas. I'd heard that there was conflict of some sort in regards to immigration. Was immigration a concern that you had at the very start when you were founding this nation?
Yeah, we didn't want too many people. We didn't want to be a second promised land.
That's fair. And all right, you did eventually end up having issues with immigration, I think.
Yeah, we did.
Some would even say that it caused the fall of Mycelia.
Maybe you can say that.
Did you have any measures in place to handle this immigration or lack of immigration that you wanted?
Well, if someone came to our island, we just sent them to the Justocracy north of us.
I see. All right. And you didn't have any measures to know who was on your island at the time? Is that correct?
Well, the Justocracy was kind of autonomous. We just did our own thing, and we just sent people there. We didn't really care about what was happening over there.
For years, the big three nations of our Minecraft world, Mycelia, Marius, and Dead Horse, lived in peace. Mycelia with the richest lands, Marius with the strongest army, Dead Horse with the largest population. But everything changed when the Jester attacked. In a move that shocked the server, the Jester forcefully assimilated North Sentinel Island, founding the Justocracy, a nation with an unusual immigration policy. In his own words, "We allow terrorists to live here. We will not protect you, but we will never betray you. If someone comes in here and kills a citizen, that's okay with me. It's their problem." While Mycelia begrudgingly accepted this new nation as part of their lands, Marinus, who claimed to be allied with Mycelia to the end, did not. Their leader 171 responded bluntly, "You don't protect anyone on this island? Well, I don't want this to sound like a threat, but will you protect yourself, Jester?" Marinus continued to be causing more trouble after their leader was reportedly intimidating the island of Mycelia. A citizen of Marinus in full diamond armor, 291, wanted to publicly be heard that he did not support the intimidation of other islands. Other citizens agreed that this intimidation tactic should not stand. However, when 171 was questioned about this, they claimed ignorance and told reporters that there was no such intimidation tactic. They went so far as to bring players who claimed this in front of him and tell them to tell me that there was no intimidation tactic. Tensions escalated further between the Justocracy and Dead Horse. Reports alleged that the Jester had hired someone to bring a horse to Dead Horse and kill it in front of them. Thankfully, a gift of 2 mushrooms cooled tempers for now, according to Serenian. But Session 5 brought unexpected change. The Jester, leader of the Justocracy, has reportedly left their nation to get married. Meanwhile, Dead Horse ratified a constitution and elected a governing board. Stability at last, or just the calm before another storm? In this relative calm, a casino was emerging on the island of Lootland for these 10 citizens of the world to gamble away their problems. But the stability would not last. In the far untouched corners of the world, Skyland revealed itself to be thriving, but the rest of the server has entered the era of terror. Player 702, a recently exiled terrorist from Mycelia, may have sparked the chaos. Alongside 83, they allegedly executed a failed assassination of the full diamond citizen of Marius, 291, and destroyed multiple small civilizations, including Fort Redberry and Brighton. Their fates remain unknown. Lootland was also hit, its chests burned, beds destroyed, and whispers of an internal coup emerging. But the largest target was Dead Horse. Entire sections of the nation were engulfed in lava. Throughout Session 5, according to Sniper, 267 was seen repeatedly attacking and griefing their land. In a chilling discovery, an anonymous tip revealed a mob spawner deep beneath Dead Horse, amassing a massive undead army. The validity of this tip is in question, and may simply be a hoax to spread fear. In this new era where griefing is a strategy and nations burn overnight, Godshot Rush claims a new form of imprisonment is coming. But will it be enough to stop the era of terror? Before we end this broadcast, I'd like to thank this community for being so supportive. Your aid in making this episode possible positively overwhelmed me. I may not be able to provide a newscast for tomorrow's sessions due to personal obligations, but from then on, expect consistent, quality coverage. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe. It makes me very happy to see people caring about the things I put effort into. Now then, I'd like to share an image of wanted terrorists by the nation of Dead Horse so that you can all make sure to stay safe. Good luck out there, friends. Do you want to talk about what happened between you, 171, at first?
Yeah. So I had like, cause last trial I was quote unquote a terrorist. So I wanted to do something a bit different this trial. I didn't want to like kill people. So my plan for this trial was to actually be a monk, and just meditate in a temple I will build myself, right? but then that didn't really work out. Cause my president started saying, "Oh, we're gonna go to Mycelia and then we're gonna hold out our swords and intimidate them, and then depending on how that goes, we'll just take over the islands without force." I was like, I'm not sure about conflict, right?
So is this
So-
is when I came to talk to you as a reporter at that time, and we saw your president leave? Is that what was happening? Because all I got at the time was that there's some sort of intimidation happening.
Yeah, that's at least the plan. I think I kind of convinced him not to do it, and then he's like, okay, I'm just gonna go there and then establish relations or whatever. I wasn't actually there because I was like, okay, I should just stay back at the marinas and keep grinding my guardsman levels while you do your thing. Because I was the only one with diamond armor. They wanted me to go there to intimidate. Because like I'm the only one with diamond armor, I would be more intimidating. But I was like, I'm not down for that. I'm gonna stay at marinas and just farm guardsman levels. So that was intimidation tactics. I disagree with him, and then eventually next session I actually slept. I didn't attend it because it was one of the early sessions, and then I heard that the marinas got griefed, right? So I was obviously a bit bummed out about that. When I logged on, everything was broken. This time I was not really grandmaster yet. I was like at master level. I was soon to be grandmaster. So we actually had a mob farm in the marinas, a skeleton mob farm, and I was really bummed out that the skeleton spawner was broken. So 995 and 171, aka first in command, second in command for the marinas, actually went to Skyland because they are friends with some of the Skyland people.
Yep.
And then they just left me alone at Northern Marina. So I was a bit annoyed that they didn't want to bring me there because I was one of the higher ranking officials in marinas. And then 461 messaged me, was like, yo, do you are the guy with the diamond armor, right? I was like, yeah. Okay, yeah. So basically they convinced me to join them. They said they weren't really pleased with Dead Horse they just didn't like Dead Horse. I was like, I remember. Okay, I'll to TLDR. There's this terrorist 814 who terrorist me in Berrywood commune. I got upset that he was still in Dead Horse. I went with 461 and grouped up with them for the raid.
Is it true that
of
you were
Dead
with
Horse.
like 702 and others who had tried to jump you in the past?
I wasn't with 702 because I only attacked with 4 other people, which is 288, 461, 904, and last guy I don't remember, the Baitbreaker.
All right.
It's like 100 something.
Do you have any? I do remember you telling the leader of North Marinas that, and it was quite hilarious. Their reaction, it's just being stupefied.
I don't know what was so confusing about it.
Yeah. You got your mind works in crazy ways, Jester.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. That was a compliment.
Okay.
So
the people they brought to my nation, the terrorist, was 909. It was 873, the bearskin. Those were the only two, but eventually, since I already had terrorists there, it was kind of like you have terrorists, the more the merrier, and just a bunch of terrorists started joining after, because there was already terrorists there.
Yeah.
And eventually, I became the terrorist nation, which was really funny.
Yeah. So I know that at a time you thought you had good relations with Mycelia. Did Mycelia never make any comment on you landing there?
I'm gonna give you the situation of everything that happened. So I went to North Marina at like session 2, and I talked to them, and I was like, "Hey, yo, wait, you have a mushroom cow? Where'd you get that?" And they said, "Oh, there's a whole mushroom colony," and they gave me the direction, and so I started sailing there. And once I got there, I saw an awesome land with a lot of people, and so I decided, "Hey, I'm just gonna conquer this place." And so I just started telling everyone there, "This is my nation now, and you're my citizens." They were not a fan of that.
Okay. Yeah.
So they tried kicking me out, didn't work. I'm very, very good at running away. And
that's true.
so I just immediately left. And since there was 2 islands, no one was living on the other island, so I just took over that place.
And they didn't have any comment on you living there at the start?
Oh, I think they just thought I left, and they just never checked. Eventually, 2 miners ended up moving to the island. They wanted to do mining there, and they realized we were there, and they tried kicking us out again. They were going to conquer us, and so I made a deal with them that we would be a subsidiary nation of Mycelia, but we'd be self-governed on the land as long as we gave them mining rights, and they agreed.
Yeah, and then you realized later on that they were not qualified to make decisions for Mycelia since they were also.
Oh, no. They went to their leaders and then came back. This was all officiated with their leadership.
Well, when I talked to their leaders, the leader of Mycelia was first person on here. I don't know if they're still in chat. I think it was 974. They mentioned that they never made that decision to officially recognize you.
Well, he's a liar, man.
Yeah, they can do that. They can do that. They can lie on the internet. 974?
Big liar, man.
974, they kill you.
You know? He has like this evil like Dexter energy. You know? Feels something's off about him.
I will choose to not comment on this. This is all Jester's words. Anyway.
And the Jester's words are trustworthy.
Yeah, of course. So, question. Do you feel like the trial went the way you wanted it to, you know? Do you feel like you got what you wanted?
In the best way possible, yes. I mean, I'll be honest, those terrorists were really nice guys once you got to know them. They were like a really bad boyfriend who gave you flowers, but they gave me flowers and they abused everyone else.
I do remember them telling you, like when they were like fully geared in like diamond armor or something at some point near Fort Redberry, threatening you at some point, like near the end of one of the final sessions.
That wasn't my people. That was someone else, I believe.
Oh, okay. All right. Maybe I'm confused.
My people, they were 461, my number neighbor. My greatest servant ever, I loved him, 783, my goat. Fucking literally, multiple times, Jester would go up to them, my terrorist people, and be like, you know, you could just kill the Jester. There's no punishment for that. And they would all immediately go, no, why would I do that? Fucking, they were so loyal, and it made me feel so happy. Such good citizens. I can't believe they were thought to be terrorists.
Do you think that you deserved their respect?
Well, I mean, like, I helped organize the nation. Like, really, I didn't help collect resources, but I helped organize people. That was kind of my only job. As well as play tag. Tag was a big thing in our nation.
I see. Like a national support?
That was a national sport. It's tag and freeze tag.
I've gathered exclusive accounts from multiple perspectives to make up for what I've missed. Today's special covers clashing stories, big personalities, and events that don't quite align, so I've had to fill in the gaps where the truth is unclear. I've aimed to stay factual, but some details may be incomplete or mistaken. If I learn more, I'll post it in the pinned comment. Before the special begins, I would like to give a shout out to the miners worldwide who have had their head down digging to help the world keep running. Drop a yell in the comments section if you're one of them, and show them some support if you see them there. Now, I had warned you all that the era of terror was coming, and it appears like it has. Why did it happen? For how much longer will it go on? All this and more in today's special episode of Civil Free Press. Our story revolved around some key players. 291, the diamond guy from the Marinas. 171, the leader of the Marinas. 702 and 83, the first big terrorists. 461, a ringleader. The people of Mycelia, the people of Dead Horse, and unbelievably, from the very start, 814, the original terrorist. So let's start there. In Session 1, back when Capitol Hill was the superpower of the world, 814 was caught in attempted assassinations of Capitol Hill members and was branded a terrorist. We had the special report in Episode 1.
814 has been officially branded a global terrorist.
But why is this relevant? Well, 814 stood trial for immigration into Dead Horse, and was accepted. A new citizen. A changed person. No more acts of terror, at least allegedly. Meanwhile, far out at sea, the Marinas, under 171, were consolidating power. Iron armor came fast, and soon, 291 emerged in full diamond. Rumors swirled about how those diamonds were obtained, though ShotRush insists the anti-X-ray plugin has been active since day one. Civil Free Press makes no further comment. However, once 291 got a full set of diamond armor, the power balance in the Marinas quickly shifted. If you recall from our previous episode, a citizen of Marinas in full diamond armor, 291, wanted to publicly be heard that he did not support the intimidation of other islands. 291 was already expressing displeasure with 171's tactics of intimidation, which 171 himself denied were occurring. Conflict was brewing. Then came the turning point. The Marinas were attacked by terrorists while 291 was absent. They fled to an undisclosed location without him. When 291 returned, 171 hesitated to share the base's location. Something had changed. From Civil Free Press's point of view, something occurred here to make 171 suspicious of 291. Possibly something in the storyline is misconstrued, but the details are too sparse to make sense of it. With nowhere to go, 291 headed to Mycelia to survive, and wait for 171 to reveal the new location. And that's where our next perspective begins. 702 and 83 were thrill seekers, adventurers looking for a story. But when they couldn't find one, they decided to become one. Their first act of terror? Ambushing 291 for his diamond armor, hoping to crown themselves rulers of the server. It failed. They retreated. Exactly everything that occurred from here is a bit hazy. However, they raided parts of the world while residing in Mycelia and the Justocracy, and recruiting 461, who seemed to become a spokesperson for them. Breaking news! An exclusive leaked dialogue sent in as an anonymous tip between 83 and 702.
I don't know what the point of getting peace is. We don't gain anything from being peaceful.
I'm just saying, yeah, they're going to be vengeful after what the jester pulled earlier. They're going to be coming for both of these islands, not just the Justocracy.
If we want any mycelium to be left in this world, we have to hit first. Hold on, let me make sure no one's listening in. We need to incite war.
Yes.
It seems terrible, and I don't want war, but it's the only way to protect the mycelium islands.
Take this as you will. However, it is a Civil Free Press's belief that this conversation is staged, sent in to make the terrorists seem more sympathetic, possibly from either 83 or 702 themselves. 461, their ringleader, then reached out to the diamond player 291 with a pitch. He tells him this: the people of Dead Horse are upset with their leadership. They harbor a terrorist, 814. We are going to overthrow their government and put in a better one. 291 listens. Civil Free Press calls us what it is: an excuse. Every sign points to them wanting war and justifying it later. Now all our stories converge at one place once more. The terrorists struck Dead Horse. They committed the largest act of terrorism in our world's history. But when their coup failed, they returned to Mycelia to rest. It could have ended there. Dead Horse had no interest in revenge, no hunger for war. They stood for peace above all else. But when Mycelia, an ally and a friend, fell under the terrorist control, peace alone was not enough. Dead Horse rose to the call, not for conquest, but for loyalty. The nation that swore it would never strike, did so for a friend. With swift surgical precision, they freed Mycelia and drove the terrorists back into the shadows. And that's where we stand today. In lighter news, the casino's opening next session. Check it out.
But I heard at times there were people who you guys did not want on your island, but were on your island nonetheless. And people were unaware of that.
Yeah.
Do you think that this is just an issue that nations are going to have to deal with? Is there ways around this?
Yeah, I think that this is going to be a pretty big issue, but some measures to be taken place is to have strict border control, you know?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Awesome. Oh, then some questions on just the experiment itself. What are your thoughts on the different types of classes?
Some of them are better balanced than others. That's all I can say about that.
Do you have any opinions on which ones are better and which ones are worse?
Well, first of all, Farmer doesn't really do anything late game.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, Guardsman became really hard to level up after a while.
I see, alright. And do you have any recommendations on proportions of how many you should have of each class? Anything you'd like to say to aspiring leaders?
Well, I think that we have a pretty good ratio of classes, but I do think that there should be more farmers.
Mm-hmm. You think there should be more farmers despite them not doing anything late game?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Another thing. So let's jump into the big situation. while you were president of Mycelia, were there any attempts of like a takeover from within? As in, like, were there people saying that we want fair representation, you're not representing us well, or anything of the sort?
The only major issue we had was what to do with the Gestocracy when terrorists came in. I was pondering kicking them out, but then my vice sits-40 told me not to.
Okay. But there was no issues with, you don't think that democracy is necessary for these civic experiments, that just having the person who's the leader, as long as they're reasonable and getting things done, they should just go like that uncontested?
Correct.
Awesome. So, break down exactly what happened with the Gestocracy situation for us, for the people who are unaware.
At one point, many terrorists went to the Gestocracy. Then some of our own citizens, like 461, started to do their own things. Then, me and a lot of people left Mycelia because I'd rather rule a nation in the desert than rather rule one full of terrorists.
That's some wise words. I heard that in one of the last sessions, Dead Horse had launched a strike team, which had killed a bunch of terrorists that were hiding out in Mycelia after you had left. They told me that.
You said that they were kind of cutting out.
Sorry, no. Let me go ahead again. Dead Horse had launched a strike team to attack a bunch of people and attack all the terrorists at Mycelia to allow you guys to retrieve your land. Is this true?
Yes, this was true.
And did your people return to the nation at that time?
We tried to return to it, but the terrorists eventually just came back.
Okay, because I have heard from other sources that they just took over the land when, like, once the Dead Horse had cleared it out, they found it was empty because all the terrorists were dead, and they just kind of moved in, specifically the Gestocracy.
Yeah. Some of us tried to come in, they just came in first.
I see. All right, awesome. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about or say? Speaking of that, you guys had a very big thing going there. The casino. Whose original idea was this?
God,
You want
the
to
casino.
let's talk about this.
Yeah. I don't really know much about why they created it. Maybe Fiona knows more.
I have some elements to bring. I just know that it was Switch's idea. He wanted to build a casino on Capitol Hill, but he lost the elections. And he didn't like the government there, so he decided to leave, and that's how he came on the island. And he also had a contract with it was 736.
Yep.
Our casino guy. And he asked him to build the casino. So, in fact, there was a casino, another one on the island. I don't know if you remember this huge
The building.
big wood building in front of our island.
Yeah.
This was the first casino tentative.
I see.
Try, sorry. But we said that's not very. I'll say that. That's not that gorgeous for a casino. So we said maybe we can move that on the other island. And we decided to build it. I mean, he decided alone to build it in our carrière. Carrier,
Yeah.
I believe. I say that.
Quarry.
Yeah, so quarry. Yes, thank you.
Quarry.
Yeah. Quarry. Yeah. No quarry. And that's how the idea came from this casino on the island. And what can I say else?
That's
service
great.
was perfect.
Yeah. So what do you
made
think
different
about
games.
having that casino there? Do you think it attracted positive attention? Is any attention bad attention? Like,
actually, I think the casino is one of the things that were the most important on Lulen, because not
I agree.
really I read the paper written by I think it's 457, the frog guy, and he said that it was important in terms of economy, but really it was more important to us make the terrorists more friendly to us.
Yeah,
I
I
see.
believe that's the main point.
Do you
Yeah, that's
also
the
think
main
yeah,
point.
the economy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you go ahead first.
Yeah. We got some items, that's true, from the casino. I'm thinking about the diamond armor from 291. But what's more important is that having this casino brought people, of course, but it also brought the terrorists, I mean the so-called terrorists. And by doing that, we befriended them, so they won't attack us because they were gambling there, they were having fun, and we weren't attacking them. And also, by doing that, we in fact helped the other countries too, because the terrorists weren't attacking the other countries like Dead Horse by playing in our land. It was so far away that the time they had to come there, gamble, and come back, they maybe lost 1 hour of the session.
So you think
So
that
it was
kind of
also
like if you see like mafias, right, they like get extortion money from different places, like from businesses, right? You could say that the terrorists are kind of like the mafia in the sense that if there's not something there that's beneficial to them, they have no reason not to destroy it. So if Dead Horse were, say, like giving them like gifts, they might not have destroyed them. Your gift to them was entertainment.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, probably. Yeah,
I don't
and
think
also
it's a thing of gift. I believe they really wanted just to grieve Dead Horse for no reason in particular. But I think that's what was interesting with the casino, is that it wasn't just goods that everybody could give. It was entertainment, and that's something that they wanted. They wanted to chill and have fun, and their way to get fun was to grieve or to gamble.
Now, continuing straight on from the last episode, the strike on Mycelia didn't hold. Once Dead Horse withdrew, the terrorists regrouped and rebranded as the new Justocracy under the so-called Jester. Though by most accounts, he's not exactly commanding respect, being killed by his own people. They claim to have simply annexed the island since it was uninhabited after the strike. But in their own words, any returning players were given two choices: leave or die. And here's the surprising part. The new Justocracy is functioning. Not only functioning, some say they're running things more smoothly and more organized than even big nations like Dead Horse. Meanwhile, terrorists from the new Justocracy were spotted dealing with Fort Redberry. When pressed on their allegiance, Fort Redberry answered simply, "We are mercenaries, we don't do alliances, we work for coin." They also boasted some of their devastating ranged weaponry, powerful enough that only netherite or maybe top-tier diamond armor could withstand it. Soon after, the terrorists turned their sights once again to Dead Horse, a nation with whom they share a bloody history. For over an hour, they staged a mocking siege, darting back and forth across Dead Horse's walls. To some, it was humiliating. Dead Horse looked powerless to stop the harassment, just letting the terrorists do as they pleased. To others, it was just as embarrassing for the terrorists, wasting everyone's time taunting rather than fighting, waiting for the citizens to get bored and the numerical advantage to wane before they struck. But eventually, the fight came. And once again, Dead Horse was dealt a brutal blow. A handful of terrorists carved through their population, leaving the defenders dead in their wake. So why does Dead Horse keep losing these battles? Our sources stress 3 reasons. 1. Poor leadership and strategy. Dead Horse had moments of clear advantage, where with numerical power they would be guaranteed a victory, but no one stepped up to make the call. Without unified command, the opportunity slipped away. 2. Self-preservation over teamwork. When fighting began, some players reportedly held back. They were more afraid of losing their levels and items than actually defending their civ. 3. A mining crisis. Our inside scoop after talking to various citizens, including the leader of the mining guild, Dead Horse has a supply problem. The vast majority of Dead Horse choose to spend their time engaging in activities above ground. Too many of them, farmers especially. This means that a large amount of Dead Horse is not providing anything other than more mouths to feed and more lives to protect. That leaves them undergeared, undersupplied, and overexposed. You can't beat a Dead Horse, but it sure can rot. In lighter news, the casino's finally complete and it looks absolutely magnificent. Screenshots from the master builders show stunning design, polished games, and a welcoming space for everyone. Highly recommend checking it out as the perfect place to cool down from all this chaos. And while all this is going down, the new Jestocracy isn't exactly winning hearts. Rumors are flying, and pretty much everyone with an opinion seems to be against them. So what happens next? Do we see retaliation? A big war to close out the session? And if so, who's fighting on what side? And what side comes out on top? Who knows?
The only way I know how to end anything. I think we all know how I'm gonna end this.
I'm very concerned, but go ahead.
I know a place
Where the grass is